It was a beautiful, calm day. My sweet daughter holding my hand up at me with a smile. My loving husband is next to me. I was enjoying a very happy time until that man,
Hey, long time no see.
Ian, my ex-husband, who I haven't seen in a long time, approached us with a nasty look on his face.
Did you have a baby? Told you. I wouldn't be a mother if I were you.
It's none of your business. Leave me.
I tried to walk away and move on, but my ex-husband stood in front of me. He kept talking, his eyes licking me head to toe. And then, as if he couldn't take it, he started to laugh.
You're old? You know that? How disgusting. Hey, you're her new husband? Your life if you don't think about good and bad for you? I can't believe you married this old man.
The words with my ex-husband never stopped. I clenched my fists when I couldn't anymore. I was stopped by my husband, Wesley, standing next to me, smiling calmly.
Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us. I learned a lot, and you are absolute.
My name is Quinn. I met and married my ex-husband, Ian, who worked for the same company as me. Ian was a section manager and he was subordinate. After we got married, I wanted to help children right away. However, I couldn't have a baby at 3. So I decided to have an infertility test. After a long period of time, I was old when I finally got pregnant. I was really happy when I found out I was going to be a mother. It was my first pregnancy, and I was in an advanced age when I gave birth. In addition, I had to work and raise at the same time. I had no end of worries, but more than that, the joy and happiness of having the child I had dreamed of for so long in my belly was even greater. I was filled with anticipation that going to make a happy family with Mai and Ian. But Yan was not so sure. Fertility treatment is expensive. I spent most of my pre-marriage savings on therapy. On top of that, the side effects made me physically ill. It became difficult for me to do the same amount of work as before I got married. Therefore, I decided to change my job. After changing my job, my salary dropped to half of what it had been before. I was able to work less and focus on fertility treatments with peace of mind. However, Ian had grown tired of me. The truth was, Ian seemed to like me. I worked hard and made good money. At that time, there was no sign of a job for me, and I was on the road to success in my work. He noticed my good earnings, which is why he married me. And yet, after we married, I said I have a baby. Ian didn't forgive me for changing my mind so easily and going through expensive fertility treatments. So he slapped divorce papers on me. I was stunned for a while at how easily marriage ended, but I had to be strong for the sake child I was carrying in my belly. I had to raise her well on my own. I explained the situation to the con, worked my butt off. With the help of my parents, I was able to give birth to my child. When I finally held my baby girl in my arms, I felt like the happiest person in the world. I couldn't stop crying with happiness. The person who was even happier than me, my no husband, Wesley. I met Wesley as a business partner, former company. At that time, we had a good relation business partners. He was very disappointed when I refused. After a while, we met again as business partners at my current company. He knew about my situation and was concerned about me. Wesley and I had always thought well of each other. It didn't take long for us to become our private life as well. Before the birth of my child, I remained a Wesleyan. And for the next few years, I was 6. Wesley loved my daughter Ruby, very though she was not his own child. He takes care of Ruby to the point of overprotectiveness. After giving birth, when not to push myself too hard, he took care of the housework and Rue by himself. I knew Wesley truly cared about me. One day, we went for a walk in a park. The weather was nice and Ruby fell right after we got to the park. Then I saw a familiar figure walking me. I quickly took Wesley by the arm and go the other way, but it was too obvious. The person who seemed to have noticed me looked at Wesley and Ruby with a surprised expression on his face. He then approached us with a smirk and a nasty smile on his face.
Long time no see.
Hey there! Long time no see.
Did you have a baby?
Yes. You got a problem with that?
No, I'm just wondering how someone like you could be a mother.
It's none of your business. Leave us.
Ian stands in front of me as I try him and move on, after moving his gaze to my toes. As if he couldn't stand it any long, started laughing.
You're too old to be a mother. You's disgusting.
Ian's words never seemed to stop and into the stroller.
Your kid, she is ugly just like you.
Please don't you dare say one more word.
If it was just about me, I could put it, but I couldn't take it anymore when makes fun of my child. Ian narrowed his eyes in amusement, a step forward. Before I could open my mouth, he quickly shifted his gaze to the side. Ian was looking at Wesley, who was right beside me.
I can't believe anyone would marry such a hag, and she's got a kid with someone.
Really? Stop it. It's got nothing to you.
Well, Quinn, you made a lot of money, all you were ever worth. Without money, there's no reason you be with Quinn.
My ex-husband is approaching me, smiling like a devil.
In this world, everything is about loss, brother. Fools who can't think in terms of per loss won't survive. Just like Quinn here, quit her job, child. Those who don't understand profit are doomed to fail. You'd better watch out too, Mr. New. Maybe you're the kind of person who understand profit and loss when you Quinn.
Ian's loud laughter echoed through the park. He made fun of not only me, but also and Wesley. I couldn't stand it anymore, and I was about to approach my ex-husband. Then Wesley, who had been silently over the situation, restrained me.
Quinn, wait. Calm down.
Wesley, I can't stay silent after be something like this.
I understand how you feel, but violence is not acceptable.
Wesley smiled at me, and I lowered.
Quinn, do you know this gentleman?
He used to be one of my subordinate, company I worked for.
I didn't dare tell him that he was my ex-husband. I don't even want to say that I once this horrible person. Wesley already seemed to know that ex-husband without me having to tell him. He smiled deeply and nodded in under.
So, it was you. Quinn, take care of me, okay?
Wesley said, "Here's your stroller." And then Wesley stepped forward to take my ex-husband's place. He looked straight at Ian with his soon on his face as usual.
And thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. It is true that profit and loss are important, not only financially, but also in terms of the people involved. Sometimes it's thought in terms of profit and loss. What you said is very reasonable and important.
Well, you're not as stupid as I thought you were. Then you shouldn't be with Quinn, you better.
My ex-husband glanced at me. He's grinning more than ever. He put his hand around Wesley's in manner, as if he thought Wesley was side. Wesley continues his words, while Bree hands away.
My father owns a business, and in business, it is very important to calculate profit and loss. That's why I don't talk to my father as you said today, Ian.
Is your father a president? If you can talk to him directly.
Ian's eyes lit up. It's obvious he's trying to take Advit. He still likes money and titles. How could he act so differently with he just made fun of? I was beyond amazed.
I know you're probably busy, and my father knows. I'm sure my father will be in touch soon. Well then, Ian will leave you alone for...
With that, Wesley took Ruby and me and started to walk away. As we passed each other, Ian looked at me. I felt a little pity for Ian. Wesley's idea of telling his father as good as Ian imagined it would be. I rather admire his naivety in taking it as a good thing. I'm sure my ex-husband will call his office soon. Ian, who had taken Wesley's words as mere advice, hadn't noticed anything. Wesley's father is the president of a very important business part company Ian works for. Wesley was out of his father's company because he was now gaining experience as a working adult at another company. That's probably why Ian didn't know Wesley. I also learned about Wesley just got married. Wesley's parents have been really. When they found out that I was pregnant with my ex-husband's child, they did not reject me at all. They supported me when I was struggling to take care of my first child. Ruby is very attached to my parents, and it's so lovely to see them all together. If my father-in-law had heard what my ex-husband said today, he would have been in trouble. Ian actually went to work. The next was called out by his furious boss. The president of the important business partner complained to him by name. This president was, of course, my father-in-law. My father-in-law, who knew about the circumstances of our divorce, was furious. He made a phone call to Ian's boss him about his bad attitude and how it was to educate his employees.
My son told me that he was told by your employees about the importance and loss. You should think carefully about how profit or loss you could make by one mistake.
When Ian's boss asked him what was, he finally understood the situation, called me.
Hello?
Quinn, I'm sorry.
What is it now? An apology?
I was taken aback by the apology before I answered. I knew he would call me sooner or when I didn't expect it to be so soon. He must have been in a great hurry, as he kept apologizing over and over again.
I'm really sorry. Please forgive me.
Forgive? After you made fun of us, I thought to myself.
What's wrong? Did you hear from my father-in-law?
I heard him choking on my sarcasm or other side of the phone.
I guess he's got your kind advice.
I'm really sorry. I apologize. Furthermore, I have to let me apologize to you personally and the president in person.
Did your boss tell you to apologize?
Yes. I was told not to return to until I apologize in person and get forgiveness. Please, help me. We were married once.
Quit it! You've only seen me as some earns good money, right? You're getting carried away now. And you told me it was all about pro-loss. For me, it's a loss to keep you near my husband and my father-in-law. Talking to you, who made fun of my dad and my husband, is nothing but a loss. So, this phone call is such a waste for me. If you understand, don't call me again.
No.
I hung up the phone without hearing last words. He had said a lot of horrible things, but it still wasn't enough to make me feel safe. It just made me feel a little better. My ex-husband must be panicking right now. After a while, Ian's bad reputation throughout the industry. To start with, my ex-husband had always looked down on others and was a man with a good reputation. When we worked together, I often had to clean up Ian's mess. But after I quit my job, there was cover up his mess. Frustration with Ian gradually built inside and outside the company. And then this happened. Apparently, Ian's boss was mad at him because his father-in-law's company was one of the biggest clients. In the end, Ian quit his job because he couldn't stay at the company. He is having a hard time finding I received a long email from Ian as to introduce him to a new job. In one of the emails, he wrote something like, "I know it," said some terrible things, Quinn, but I really do love you. How disgusting. Rumor has it that after he divorced me, he started dating a very young woman. But Ian had lost his job and couldn't find another one, so she left him. You get what you deserve. He kept sending me emails saying to help me because it's your fault in this pitiful situation. Or you should help me because well, it's the very definition of karma. I've been ignoring all the emails, but the frequency of them has been increasing, so I'm thinking of blocking them. I'm still living happily with my loving husband, Wesley, and my daughter, Ruby. Recently, Ruby has started to talk, can't take my eyes off her. Ruby is growing up so fast. We, Wesley's family, are very much in love with her. I would like to keep this family happy forever.